Hotels are supposed to be predictable. You check in, you lock the door, you sleep, you leave. But every once in a while, a hotel becomes the stage for something that still makes investigators, staff, and guests ask the same question. How did this happen, and why does it not add up? What is up, everybody? I am your host today, Olivia Kozolowski, and today is a collection of 10 real incidents tied directly to hotels, rooms, hallways, elevators, key cards, front desks, and the people who vanished behind those doors. Some were officially explained, but the explanation never fully satisfied the facts. Some are still open mysteries, and in a few, the strangest part is not what happened, it's what never got explained. The moment you see the elevator video, you realize this is not going to end normally. In January 2013, Elisa Lam was staying at the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, later operating under the name Stay on Main. She was seen on hotel surveillance behaving strangely in an elevator, stepping in and out, pressing buttons, and looking down the hallway as if she was afraid of someone or confused or both. Then she was gone. Days passed. Then guests started complaining about low water pressure and odd-tasting water. A hotel maintenance worker went to investigate the rooftop water tanks, and that is where Lam was found, inside a rooftop cistern. The official conclusion was accidental drowning, with her behavior linked to a mental health crisis, but the case stuck in people's heads because of the logistics. How does a guest get up to the roof area, access the tank, and end up inside without anyone noticing in time? Why did the search not find her earlier if she was on the roof the whole time? And why did the hotel only discover her because the building's water started acting weird? In 1995, a woman checked into Oslo's Plaza Hotel, now the Radisson Blu Plaza, using the name Jennifer Fairgate, with variations in spelling appearing in records. She had minimal belongings, and the details around her identity never checked out. Roughly 70 hours later, she was found dead in her room with a weapon present, and authorities ruled the death as self-inflicted. And that is where the simple version ends, because the rest is a chain of oddities. The name did not lead anywhere real. Her identity remained unknown. Even basic questions, where she came from, who she was with, why she was there, never got answered in a way the public could verify. The case became infamous because hotel rooms are controlled environments. Check-in time, key records, staff interactions, security routines, all of it is documented, at least in theory. Yet this woman managed to appear in a major hotel in a major city and leave almost nothing that led back to a real life. Whether you believe the official conclusion or not, the core mystery remains the same. Who was she, and how did she walk into a high-profile hotel and effectively delete her own identity? In January 1935, a man checked into the hotel president in Kansas City using the name Roland T. Owen. He asked for an interior room and brought almost no luggage. He stayed in room 1046. Staff noticed his behavior immediately. He was nervous, he kept the room dark, he seemed to be waiting for someone. At one point, hotel staff reported phone calls, and there was a message associated with the name Dawn, including a line often repeated in retellings, quote, "Dawn, I will be back in 15 minutes. Then, in the early hours, something happened in that room that turned into a nightmare. The man was found badly injured and later passed away from those injuries. The case became known as the Room 1046 mystery. The strangest part is not just the violence, it's the missing context. No clear motive, confusing evidence, reports of missing items from the room, witness statements that raise more questions than answers. The victim was eventually identified as Artemis Ogletree, but identifying him did not solve what happened inside that room, or who Dawn was, or why hotel staff kept encountering this pattern of fear and secrecy right up until it ended. In June 2009, a man using the name Peter Bergman checked into the Sligo City Hotel in Ireland. He provided details that later did not lead to a real identity. Over the next few days, CCTV captured him moving around the hotel, repeatedly visiting different locations, appearing to discard items in a careful, almost methodical way. He kept interactions minimal. Then, on June 16, 2009, 1989, his body was found on Ross's Point Beach. The case became famous because the surveillance coverage was unusually good, and yet it still did not tell investigators who he was, or why he came, or what he was trying to erase. In 1970, a woman, later nicknamed the Isdal Woman, stayed in multiple hotels in Norway, including in Bergen, using different names and presenting herself in ways that raised questions later. After her death, investigators found suitcases connected to her at Bergen railway station. Inside were items with identifying labels removed. Authorities also found coded notes connected to her movements. Her body was found burned in Isdalen Valley near Bergen, and the case became one of Norway's most famous mysteries. The hotel angle matters because the paper trail of her stays, the receipts, the behavior observed, and the deliberate removal of labels all suggested planning. The unanswered questions pile up fast. Who was she really? Why the multiple identities? Why the effort to remove labels and traceable information? Was she hiding from someone, working for someone, or trying to stage a disappearance that went wrong? Even decades later, the hotel trail is one of the clearest parts of the mystery, and it still does not point to a confirmed identity. In September 1980, Rose Burkert and Roger Atkinson checked into a Holiday Inn in Williamsburg, Iowa. The next day, a housekeeper found them passed away inside their room. Investigators believed a third person was involved, and decades later the case remained unsolved, with reporting noting DNA evidence that had not yet produced a public resolution. Hotel cases like this haunt people because the setting creates an expectation of traceable movement. Someone had to enter, someone had to leave, someone had to cross a parking lot, a hallway, a lobby, something. Yet investigators did not announce an arrest that closed the story. The unanswered questions are the ones that keep it alive. Who came to that room? Why them? And how did the person leave a busy roadside hotel without leaving a clear path to a courtroom? In September 2001, a man checked into a motel in Amanda Park, Washington, using the name Lyle Stevik. He paid, stayed, and left almost nothing behind that could confirm who he was. After he passed away in the room, investigators had fingerprints, DNA, and dental information, yet for years no match appeared in databases. The case became well known online because the man's alias looked invented, and because it seemed like he deliberately arrived with no traceable identity. In 2018, authorities announced that he had been identified with the help of genetic genealogy, though details were handled with sensitivity and privacy. In September 2002, a hotel manager in Nogales, Arizona, discovered a man passed away in one of the rooms. The man had told the manager he had been consulting a doctor in Mexico about surgery on his head, and he had a prominent surgical scar. He had registered under a false name, and for years he was essentially a mystery guest, and the fake name led to confusion tied to fraud and identity theft. In 2023, reporting described how genetic genealogy helped identify him as Donald Hadland Jr. What makes it feel like a hotel mystery is how normal the entry point is: a front desk interaction, a quick conversation, a name on paper, and yet that name was a mask, and the real story took decades to pull into the light. In December 1994, an unidentified man was found passed away in a hotel room at the Holiday Inn in Raleigh, North Carolina. He had checked in under a pseudonym. For decades, he was a John Doe case known only by the false information connected to his stay. In late 2025, forensic genealogy work helped identify him as Edward Sidney Broughton, restoring his name after more than 30 years. This is a hotel story because the hotel created a neat little box around the end of his timeline: check-in, room number, check-out date, yet the person behind that paperwork stayed unknown for most of a lifetime. In 1892, a woman known as Kate Morgan checked into the Hotel del Coronado in California using the name Lottie A. Bernard. Within days, she was found passed away on an exterior staircase leading toward the beach. Her death was generally believed to not be super mysterious, but over time, questions and alternative theories persisted, including debate over details raised in discussion of the inquest and evidence. The hotel connection is not a side detail here, it's the entire setting. everything. Witnesses, staff impressions, where she was seen, what she bought, how she moved around the property. All of it feeds the mystery. Over a century later, the story became tangled with folklore, but the core remains real. A guest arrived under a different name, stayed only briefly, and died in a way that still leaves people arguing about what truly happened in and around that hotel. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!